Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back, Droid Life Show. Today, episode 204. It's Friday, May 17th. I'm your host, Kellen. With me, Tim. Tim, say hi.
Hi, guys. How's it going? Tim here.
Thanks for joining us again on this fabulous Friday. On the show today, a whole bunch of stuff to run through. Mostly, though, OnePlus 7 Pro talk. So OnePlus has announced the OnePlus 7 Pro. It's official. We've reviewed it. Tim now has it. There's Robert Downey Jr. involved. There's a lot going on with the OnePlus 7 Pro. So we're gonna talk a lot about that. I hope you guys are okay with that. We also got some Google Pixel talk, Pixel 4, Pixel 3a, some Verizon 5G stuff, that stuff. And then, of course, we will get back into trivia. And this week, our trivia at the end of the show, for those who don't listen, is all the gifts or giveaways or prizes are provided by our friends at Nvidia. And they put together some pretty sweet bundles. You want to run through what those bundles are?
Absolutely. So we got 5 prizes in total, or we'll have 5 winners. Our grand prize winner is going to get a Google Home Mini, as well as a Google GeForce Now beta code. Second place winner, well, our second kind of big prize is a $50 Google Play gift card and a GeForce Now beta key. Third prize winner, $25 Google Play gift card and GeForce Now beta key. Then we'll have 2 additional winners who get GeForce Now beta keys. This is cool because GeForce Now, it allows you to stream AAA games to essentially any device. So Mac, PC, Shield TVs that are hooked up in your living room. You can stream these AAA game titles. And if you all already don't know, the GeForce Now beta is very popular. I'm pretty sure there's like 1 million people waiting for these beta codes, but we've got codes. So, yeah, good stuff. But again, big winner, Google Home Mini. Second big winner, $50. Third big winner, $25 of Google Play credit.
Yep.
So,
and then everyone gets those beta keys.
Everyone gets beta keys. So that's every winner gets beta keys.
Exactly.
So
that's
thank you, Nvidia.
Yeah, thank you, Nvidia. Great prizes. So again, if you're new here, we do trivia at the end of the show, and you can participate in that if you're listening live, watching on YouTube. Another reminder, though, about donations. As we noted a couple weeks ago, we're doing donations for the next 2 months that roll in are all going to the Oregon Humane Society. 100% of donations. So if you're listening live or whatever and you want to drop some cash down, we are giving 100% in 2 months. We're just going to total all those donations up and hand them over to the Oregon Humane Society. And hopefully they can take care of as many pets as they possibly can. And before the show even started, and now we're already seeing donations rolling in. So PC747 dropped $5 and said, feed the dogs. Bert dropped $2 and said, for all puppies. Leo also just dropped $2 as well. So, just a reminder, we're giving donations away. So if you can, feel free to pitch in. Otherwise, on with the show.
On with the show.
So the OnePlus 7 Pro is official. Actually, you can buy it today. It went on sale today. At least the unlocked version went on sale today. I think the T-Mobile one, there's been some ways, like get some pop-ups and things like that for you to get a hold of it early. But the unlocked model, which is probably the one you should buy, because the T-Mobile one is locked to T-Mobile for a while until you can get it unlocked. And then it also gets updates after the unlocked version. So the T-Mobile one is probably not the one you could get. At T-Mobile, you're also limited to the $700 version. You can't get the cheapest version. You can't get the most expensive version. So the T-Mobile one limits you. Just buy the thing unlocked directly from OnePlus. Let's see, though. So to recap, they held an event Tuesday? Wednesday? Tuesday. Oh, yeah, the 14th. Tuesday. And they announced the OnePlus 7 Pro. It starts at $669. So it's clearly their most expensive phone. We knew it was going to be their most expensive phone.
Really?
Then it jumps up to $699.
Yes,
yeah.
Such a weird angle to take, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, but like the whole point of OnePlus early on was you talked about the value, and I'll get there. Don't worry.
Okay.
So it starts at $669, jumps up to $699. Then there's a top model at $749. What you get for, we'll just start with that base model of $669. You get Snapdragon 855. You get a 6.67-inch Quad HD fluid AMOLED display with it's curved also, with no hole punches, no notches, none of that stuff. So it's completely clean. and it's at a 90 hertz refresh rate, so an upgrade there. You get 128 gig storage, 6 gig RAM. Again, this is the base model. The storage is UFS 3.0. This is the only phone right now you can buy with UFS 3.0 storage. It has a triple rear camera on the back, 48 megapixel sensor that basically processes everything down to 12. And then you have a telephoto and an ultra wide angle, 60 megapixel pop-up selfie camera, which is, I don't know if the camera's that great. I don't really test a lot of selfies, but it looks cool and it works with Face Unlock. A big 4,000 milliamp hour battery, NFC, Bluetooth 5, stereo speakers, an in-display fingerprint reader, and then it comes in mirror gray or nebula blue. It will eventually come in almond, which is kind of like a soft goldish, but that's not available till later. So $669, you get all of that. What don't you get? No SD card slot, no wireless charging, no official IP rating. Are those the three?
Yes.
Those are the three, right? It's also large. Like, you don't get a choice between like a small and a big, like Samsung has done and like Google has done. There's just one phone. Well, there's two phones, but we'll talk about the OnePlus 7 in a little bit. So it's not, oh, you don't have a headphone jack either. Forgot about that. No headphone jack. In the box, they're not even throwing in a USB-C adapter. So if you do get this phone, you're going to have to buy an adapter somewhere or something. Runs Android 9, has Oxygen OS. And I think that's kind of the spec rundown. There are 8 gig RAM and 256 gig options, as well as a 12 gig RAM, 256 gig storage option. And that's the one that's $750. So back to what you were saying, like, that's kind of a weird way to frame it. Like, it's their most expensive phone ever. It is their most expensive phone ever. However, what you're getting for that price is kind of still nuts, right?
Pretty incredible.
I mean, so I reviewed it. I've had the phone. Well, I don't have it anymore. You have it, but I had it for like almost 2 weeks, or probably 2 weeks, and just using the phone, there's like, it feels like a Galaxy S10. It feels like, and I haven't used an iPhone XS, but I guess what I'm saying is it feels like $1,000 or more phone. I don't, like the top model S10 Plus you have with the ceramic, and I know that's not ceramic.
No, it's not.
It's definitely not. Although it weighs a lot, though.
Still heavier than my S10, though.
But there's an S10 5G now, and that's like $1,300. And I would just say, like, this phone put up next to those kind of matches up fairly well, other than those few things we mentioned. Except it costs $669. I mean, this thing is half the price of your ceramic S10 Plus, and arguably improved display, or at least equally as good, but you don't have a giant double wide hole punch in the display. The cameras are probably not as good as Samsung's, but I don't know that they're that far behind. At least in my testing, I thought the camera was actually pretty good. And the software is probably better. I mean, Samsung software has improved a lot. We actually like One UI, but this is like that clean version of Android with some useful things built on top. So anyways, where I'm going back to is at $669, you get a lot. So even though we're getting up there and they want this to compete with Samsung and Google, even though Google's phones definitely don't deserve to be priced up there, it's still a good buy, right?
It's a fantastic buy, even though the price has raised quite substantially. Versus the first gen, second gen OnePlus devices, this is still the best value flagship phone on the market at $669. Even the $749. It's a pretty incredible buy.
It really is, right? And I know that they're potentially pricing out some of their early customers, although they've kind of done that in the last couple of years anyway. I mean, initially they were a $300 phone, and last year they were a $540 or $50 phone, and now we're in the 600s, but it's still cheaper than any of Samsung's new phones. It's cheaper than Google's two phones, other than the 3A and 3XL, but those aren't even in the same category. So you still get a whole bunch of stuff, including some stuff that's better than, like, I think we'll talk about this, but you made a post shortly after, I think the day it was announced, actually, we posted a review that said, like, you're like, I'm already ditching the S10 Plus for this phone. And you went through like all these reasons, and like, do you want to kind of go through like what it was? Because I think I agree with why you're doing that.
Uh, well,
I mean, other than to just play with it, like you seem like you actually are like, I just go away, Samsung. I'm here for you, OnePlus.
yeah. So I went hands on with the OnePlus 7 like a while ago, and I first saw the device. I was like, okay. I mean, this is definitely a lot like my Galaxy S10 Plus. They hadn't told me pricing. They just said it was going to be very competitive. So I was already pretty excited about it. And then I saw the pop-up selfie camera. You know, there was a certain things about the S10 Plus that I don't absolutely love, like the display cutout. While it's not that bad, I think it could just not be there and be better. And then, of course, price is such a large factor, right? I know it's kind of a bit different for us just because we do this for work and stuff, but anyone could say, yeah, $1,250 for a smartphone is a lot of money. And S10 Plus, of course, starts at $999, but I'm talking about that ceramic version. So this phone, I already knew what the higher refresh rate meant because I used both Razer phones with the 120 hertz refresh. So I already knew that even up to 90 hertz, you were going to notice something pretty substantial in terms of just scrolling through the UI. And after using the phone, I can tell you, like, it's definitely nice. You apply some live wallpapers or something. There's one in particular that I can share. But it's more fluid looking. And I appreciate that they called it the fluid display. It looks really good. It's not 120, but 90 is definitely a big improvement. Just the specs in general. It has everything you want. However, the problem is that the deal breaker things, or the things that they omitted, apparently are all deal breakers, such as no headphone jack, no wireless charging. So the things that they left out are apparently the things people care the most about. And so it's a little frustrating just from as someone, like as a fan standpoint. You're like, okay, I mean, this is a sweet display. The camera's apparently better. I mean, DxOMark gave it a score of 111. So it's better than the S10 Plus, at least in terms of these scores, at 109. Yeah. So if you put a lot of weight into that stuff, this phone is right up there competing with them at $669, like you said, half the price of the S10 Plus that I got. So there's a lot of reasons.
Better display.
Yeah, with a better
faster
display.
Storage.
Exactly. Yeah.
No hole punch.
It's been a lot of fun to use. Of course, I've only been using it for one day. But the phone, it's just really nice. And, you know, I know you're not big on the whole big devices, but since I'm already used to the S10 Plus, going over to a phone that is this large, not that big of a deal for me. I wouldn't mind someday in the future going to a smaller device. But for now,
when you compared it, right, and it's only like slightly taller than your S10 Plus, right?
Oh, just, yeah, ever so slightly taller. So my pockets were already bulging. It's just bulging a little larger now. No big deal.
Yeah.
There was also, so for the software wise, yeah, we've talked about Samsung One UI has gotten better, has improved. But what's nice is you can actually get Android Q on this thing if you want.
That's true.
I don't have to go back to my Pixel to try that out. So I think in terms of updates, this thing might be a little bit faster than the Samsung devices. And I'm not trying to say you should buy this one, you should buy that one. I'm just talking about for me. It's nice kind of having a device that's closer to the Pixel experience because that's just what I prefer. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other, right? They're both, I think, really good phones. I think it's going to be a personal preference, as always. I'm not trying to fight anybody. I'm a pacifist. But it's a good device. If you were on the fence, go check one out in a T-Mobile store. T-Mobile seems really hyped about this device. So all their employees are on Twitter about it, tweeting from iPhones and stuff. It's really good. So I don't know, just go check it out. Let yourself kind of decide what you want to get. $669 though, damn, it's kind of hard to beat.
It's really, really tough to beat. So I reviewed it. There's only a couple things that I really kind of knocked it for, and these are, one of them has to do with the display. One of them is just kind of a personal preference, and so the biggest one for me is just the size. We just talked about this, but I just said this phone is huge. Like if you're fine with Galaxy S10 Plus, Pixel 3 XL, because it's taller than the Pixel 3 XL, which is a pretty big phone. So if you're fine having a phone that big, and I know a lot of people are, it's probably going to be an amazing phone for all of those people. My only problem is I'm not one of those people that likes giant phones. I've complained about this for years. Everyone's probably sick of me talking about this, but I like phones that are you can use with one hand, that sort of thing. That's why I have an S10e, a regular Pixel 3, a Pixel 3a. Like those are the phones that I tend to like. So anyways, that was just kind of one of my personal critiques. The other thing is the fingerprint reader, I think, is awful on that thing. I don't know what your experience has been in just one day. And I've seen some of the other reviews that said, like, this is a greatly improved fingerprint reader over the last one. And it's an optical fingerprint reader and uses light. It has to scan your face. Like, it's still slow and janky. And in order to get to it, you have to, like, tap on the screen once to wake it or hit a button to wake it. Like, you can't just, like, put your finger on there without there being the screen on. But that's not like a deal breaker thing because it has face unlock, and the face unlock on it is like really fast, and you get to watch the pop-up camera every time that happens. So that's not like a deal breaker thing. The biggest thing for me is just size. Like, it's huge and it weighs a lot, and so you just have to be prepared for that. And then the other thing I kind of knocked for was battery life, but the battery life thing is probably more geared around the refresh rate of the display. And they tell you in the settings, like if you go into the display settings and look at 90 hertz versus 60, it says like flip to 60 if you want to extend the battery. So my battery life kind of was all over the place in my testing. And I don't know if that's just because it was early enough software, and they've issued a couple of updates since I got it. But battery life for me was kind of all over the place, not great, but I left it in 90 hertz the whole time because I was like, look, this is the best feature of the phone probably. I'm going to leave it on there. I think they'll improve some of that stuff, and they are supposedly working on possibly a version of software that'll like smartly dynamically jump between 90 and 60 depending on what you're doing. So hopefully they do that because that would help with battery. Otherwise, like I don't know how you could not really put this like in the top 2 of phone choices right now, because it'll also work. It's supposed to work on all carriers. In PC Mag's write up on it, and they're kind of the network gurus, they said that it's ready for Sprint, but it's not certified, so it may not actually work on Sprint. And I don't have verification of that. But it'll work on Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T right now. I used it on Verizon. I thought the camera was solid. I don't know. It's a really good phone. I have one disappointment that I just wish it was smaller, because then it would be the phone I would use. I would even deal with the stupid curved display thing if it was smaller.
Yeah, I just want to come to your defense a little bit. I know people are trying to knock you with the whole fingerprint reader being a little janky.
These people are dumb.
Well, hey now. So when it works, it is extremely fast. I just want to throw that out there. The fingerprint reader, when it works, is very fast. However, maybe you and I are just always getting bunk models because, sometimes I'll place my finger there and it just doesn't work. It says not recognized, whatever. It takes its time.
It takes forever sometimes to like sit there and scan. And
sometimes
it's fast. Sometimes
it's fast. When it works, it's very fast.
Yes.
So I just want to throw that out there. Kellen understands that it is fast when it works. And then also when it works. So I bitch about OnePlus phones a lot. So the thing is, the OnePlus, the possibility of a OnePlus 7 Pro T. I just want to touch on that real quick. So every time that OnePlus releases a phone, their first flagship phone, kind of in that first half of the year, I don't want to recommend it to anybody because for the past 2 years they put out these T versions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, don't get the first one because the T is going to come like 4 months from now and it's going to be better. That's right. It's going to have that updated processor or more RAM or whatever. This year, because this is the Pro and not just the kind of a standard OnePlus 7, which we will get to. Not quite sure. I've reached out to OnePlus. Of course, they're not going to probably comment on like, oh yeah, we've got a Pro Teen coming. So but the way I see it is that we can expect no T model this year, just because they're going to have that 5G model of the OnePlus 7 Pro coming later this year over to Europe and I believe parts of Asia. So if you were kind of on the fence,
they said something specifically though, didn't they? Like this is the phone for us this year. Like they said.
Yes. So on stage, Kyle Kiang, the CMO, he said this is the best smartphone you're going to see in 2019. So, I mean, to me, how can you say that if the T is going to come? Because the T is always better than the first one of the year. So I'm just I'm just going to assume like I can get behind this one, because if I start selling people on this, if I'm out here saying bye Galaxy S10 Plus, like hello OnePlus 7, and then they come out with the Protein, I'm gonna look like an idiot. I'm tired of looking like an idiot. So
I hope they don't, but I kind of feel like they still will. They gotta do something. They're a two release
5G.
per year kind of company, it seems like.
Maybe. I assume that 5G version is going to be like their second half baby or something. But
could be. In the US, yeah, that could very well be.
What are they going to What are they going to do to improve this thing? How do
I have
you?
no idea.
How do you pro out the pro?
I don't even know, because they won't
jack,
like. Yeah, that's the thing, right?
IP rating.
Yeah, that's the only thing they can do, right? Is change the IP, or I should say, get an IP rating, put in a headphone jack, because I don't think they'll do wireless charging. I don't really know what they could do. There's not going to be a new Qualcomm Snapdragon processor they can put in. I guess they could make the battery slightly bigger, but is that worth? So yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, Scott Washington in the chat says, "Okay, I'm gonna call you guys out like I do every year. What's wrong with 2 good phones a year?" My problem is just the way they do it. They release a phone, they say like, "This is a fantastic phone, go buy it," and then a few months later, like we're not talking a long amount of time, the T version comes, and it's like significantly better than the one they just released months ago. Why not just release that one to start? I just don't like the idea. I mean, these people act like money ain't nothing. Money is something. Yeah. And some people don't want to just keep changing phones like that. So if you were going to be someone who upgrades once a year, just get that T model. Like, don't even bother with the standard one. So that was just my beef with OnePlus.
Well, and there's a difference too between what they're doing, or I should say we're doing, right? They give you a OnePlus 5 and then a 5T, or a 6 and a 6T, and they're basically the same exact phone, but they somehow miraculously manage to fit in a bigger battery, and then they make the notch up top smaller, and they do some things that actually meaningfully improve it, but it's the same phone. Whereas Samsung is like, look, we have the Galaxy S line, and you can buy that now. And then we have a whole nother line called the Note line later that's its own separate thing. So they're doing like a phone that improves upon itself, but it's for different users. Whereas OnePlus is releasing the same exact phone. They just tweak like a couple of components that improve it. And that's why I think I'm with you. And it doesn't really seem like a great way to promote your product, but apparently it works.
Right. And they're all aimed at the same buyer.
Yes.
Right. Whereas,
the
like
OnePlus
you said,
fanboy,
the Note is different from those Galaxy S people.
Right.
And so the way Samsung does it, it's just it makes more sense to me. So OnePlus, get out of here. And no, Scott, you don't have to buy the new one. That's why I'm always saying don't buy the new one. I'm trying to save people money. Take that money, save it, and go put it towards the T version that's coming in 3 months.
Tim is trying to save you guys money.
Just trying to save you guys money. Although that T version is going to be more expensive, so maybe I'm not saving you money at all.
As Brandon just said, the Protein version will be 120 hertz.
Ooh,
See, now that would really piss me off, right? Because you're like, I got this new one. I just spent $700. It's got a 90 hertz display. I'm better than all y'all. And then they drop the 120.
Well, at least now with this new OnePlus trade-in program, which is through Phobio. I haven't done any type of trade-in program through Phobio, I don't think. Yeah, at least you can trade in a OnePlus device, like any OnePlus device, even the OnePlus One, and get some money towards your purchase. So, yeah. And those trade-in things with phones getting so expensive, we've been praising them, I know, with Samsung and the new Pixels and all that. Like, having a trade-in program, so vital for Americans. A country that is completely crippled with credit card debt and car loans and all that stuff. We got to stop taking on more debt, people. Come on.
I do actually really like the fact that it's become easier than ever to get rid of your old phones for cash to put towards new ones. I know oftentimes they offer you very little, but in some cases, particularly at launches of new phones, if you have something decent to trade that's not super old, you can actually get quite a bit of cash for it. So I'm with you on that.
I even like these. I don't know how much they're giving you or anything. I appreciate that I'm seeing these eco ATMs like at my local Fred Meyer's, which is our grocery store here in the Portland area. You just stick your old phone in there and it poops out cash, I assume. Not sure how much, but
I don't know either.
That's free money. If for a phone you got just laying around or whatever, hey, why not?
I'm going to pull up there with a shopping cart of old phones here pretty soon.
It's just going to poop cash.
Just to see it poop cash, pretty much. Yeah.
That'd be dope. But yeah, I don't know how much it gives you.
Yeah, I don't know either. So we mentioned a OnePlus 7. So the 7 Pro is the only phone they talked about in their announcement. And we've seen this OnePlus 7 non-Pro version leak also. And they sort of announced it after the fact in European markets, or just not in the US, I guess you should say. And so the OnePlus 7 will not come to the US. It has some meaningful improvements over the 6T, like Snapdragon 855, UFS 3.0 storage, and a 48 megapixel camera on the back. But it just looks like a 6T. Basically, they took a 6T and improved some of the components. So it's kind of like a 6 double T or something, right?
6 double T Pro.
Yeah, 6T Pro. So some people I think are a little bit frustrated in the fact that that's not coming here, and I would tend to agree with them because it starts at 499 euros, I think, or pounds in the UK. So 499 pounds in the UK. The 6T, which you can still buy in the US, they dropped the price of it, but it's more expensive than the 7. And the 6T is not getting improvements in the US. They just dropped it by $30 is all. So you can get a 6T now starting at $549.
So what's the problem?
The OnePlus 7, which is a better phone, is $50 cheaper.
Oh, I thought you were so
the 6T is more expensive than the 7. I mean, I guess if you're doing like a conversion of pounds to dollars, that doesn't equal.
Exactly, right? So it was like 500 pound sterling is what to US dollars?
Well, yeah, but the conversion never actually does anything, right? Like we do this conversion thing like all the time when we first see a phone leak in like India. It never converts properly to the US. Mm-hmm. So like what I'm saying is like if the 7 was sold here, I'm imagining it's probably going to be sold for 500. I guess I'm assuming, but like those numbers usually translate flat across. I guess like how much was the 6T in the UK? Does anyone know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, it's $550 for a 6T here with no upgrades, and it's £500 in the UK for the 7, which has upgraded everything. So,
yeah, well, typically I feel like it's the euro that would see sort of that straight conversion, but the pound, I don't know. Phone makers don't price things in pounds anymore. That's because there's such a huge difference. Well, I don't understand that at all. So,
the 6T started at £500. When it launched last year.
So the same as
the 7.
Okay, so they didn't change the price at all.
So we're at basically where we were last year. Okay.
Seems fine to me.
So you're saving a few dollars on the 6T, whereas the 7 has upgrades across the board. Okay.
I'm so glad I don't live in the UK because it sounds very confusing.
It's just because the going from the UK to the US is confusing. But see, again, so everyone, the conversion thing, see how that doesn't work, what I'm talking about there? Doesn't work.
I guess.
Well, it was 500. The 6T was £500, and the 6T here was 550. So that they weren't. There's no convert. Like they didn't do a conversion when they did the pricing here. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that never works. Everyone always does like it's priced in whatever I guess Germany would be euros. It was priced at the euros of this. Let's just convert that to US. That's never how it works. It's never priced that way. Anything. Just so everyone understands what I'm trying to say here.
I got you.
And I know everyone's trying to do the conversion, but that's not how it works. None of these companies ever just convert it. Okay, moving on.
Well, maybe they will because they use pounds and not euros. That's why it's confusing. Just to be honest, like to me, it's confusing because they went pounds.
Just never do a conversion. Just find the like equal of whatever the price is, basically, or to an even dollar amount, and then it's just price that in whatever the next country is. Typically, that's how it works.
Brandon says sterling has taken a hit because of Brexit, but like it seems to me that the pound is extremely strong when I'm looking at the to US dollar conversion. I mean, 500 is equal to 634 US dollars. That seems strong.
Right,
I don't know what it used to be.
We're just totally getting out of what I'm talking about here. Either way, the 6T is still here, and everybody else has a 7 to buy for basically the same price, which is semi-unfortunate. I'm actually surprised they didn't bring it here. I guess maybe T-Mobile was like, no, don't do that. We want the only one because we're your carrier partner. Don't muddy it up with a cheaper version. I'm not really sure.
I mean, the 6T was already here, like on our shores, right? So why, I guess why I'm assuming there's a lot of leftover units, just knock down the price a little bit.
Yeah.
My thing is, why would you buy a 6T right now and not the 7 Pro? I guess unless you really don't want the big phone, like it's worth
That's
that
the
price
thing,
drop,
yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the 7, I compared them at some point, and the 7 Pro is definitely quite a bit taller than the 6T, but I don't know that it's substantially taller. I mean, the 6T was a pretty big phone too, but
Look at that. That's all display, people. No cutouts, no notches, all display.
it is it's a cool thing to look at. One of the things that's been sort of interesting to watch is when the first, like, I can't remember who it was, but there was a couple of companies that did the first like pop-up selfies. I think it was Vivo. I think Vivo did one of the first ones, and then I think Oppo also did, which is obviously a part or joined basically with OnePlus. But when the pop-up things, everyone went, okay, that's terrible. Like, it's another moving part. It's going to fail. It's going to be bad. That sucks. And I think we're trusting these companies into the fact that they hopefully did enough testing that these things won't break. And OnePlus is saying, like, look, this thing could pop up and down 300,000 times and it'll be fine, which is great. But I think the narrative has changed a little bit, because once you get a phone like this in your hands that has no notch, no cutout, is just all display, and especially this one at 90 hertz, you just kind of don't care that there might be an extra moving part in there. Like, using that thing the whole time, I did not care that it had a moving pop-up camera. In fact, I thought it was cool to use. But the big deal is you're just looking at a phone with all display and nothing else. Like, we've reached the point where we've been talking about for like 3 years or 2 years of stupid notches and things like that. So we're at a cool time. But what I'm saying is, like, everyone seems to kind of have moved on from, like, there's a moving part, it could break. So hopefully these things don't start breaking, because
That'd be bad.
I want everyone to do the all display thing. Like,
Sure.
I wish Google would. I know there's like some kind of bogus leaks and rumors that I'm not sure anyone should trust right now that say there's going to be like a big double wide notch punch out in the Pixel 4. And there could very well be that. I just wish they wouldn't. I just wish like Google would also adopt like the pop up or flip thing or whatever, because looking at that display is it's going to be hard to go back to another phone. That's for sure.
Yeah. I would, two things, people are asking about the blue. Like, is it like really blue, or is it sort of like a subtle blue? Simply somewhere in the middle. The backside the backside is matte. So, it's not too, glossy and bright or reflective, which is nice. I love that it just goes from a kind of brighter blue to a darker. It's just a very nice kind of gradient they got on there. So hats off to OnePlus for that. Then also, I want to, maybe this is a post I'm going to write, but I think it's time that we start talking about the OnePlus 8. And
no.
Because we know the OnePlus 8 is going to be like $700
To start,
starting. So what does it got to do? Because we have to pay for Robert Downey Jr., right? So it's got to have that IP rating. Like, people are crying. People are crying for this IP rating. So I say give it to them. Well, maybe you choose IP rating or wireless charging. It's got to be something. Headphone jack? Nah.
We're done with those.
Don't bring back the headphone jack.
With those.
So it's got to be wireless charging or IP rating. I'm curious which one people would want the most. So
I still want to know like how much it costs. How much it would really cost to add an IP rating. Like, are we talking $30 per phone?
It's got to be millions.
Yeah, but like per phone is what, because then we're talking pricing. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know that I can wrap my brain around a OnePlus 8, because from now until we get there, you know how much is going to change. You know how you'll know what's coming to the OnePlus 8? Well, not just whatever Oppo does, but like what Vivo and Oppo and some of those other Chinese manufacturers start doing. Like, when we get to the end of the year, one of those will have some new weird ass concept. And when that weird ass concept rolls around, that'll basically mean like, oh, well, this is what we're going to see. Because those companies, whenever any sort of new technology change comes out, they just throw it in a phone. And like Vivo, I still don't know if Vivo's ever released an actual phone, but they sure send us press releases that say like, look, we created this new thing, and like you can never buy it, which is fine, but at least they're pushing things forward. So
yeah, I'm also interested. There's got to be some type of hot take somewhere about this water resistance versus IP rating, as Eli pointed out and other people have pointed out in the chat. Yes, the phone does have a water resistance, as shown in that delicate video of them dropping it in a bucket of water. Yeah, like without the IP rating, there's something that makes me feel safe. Kind of like when they put a guarantee on the box.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is, really.
Exactly. It makes you
is.
feel good. So last year went to Hawaii and I went to the water, did some snorkeling with the turtles, and of course I felt completely fine taking the phone, putting it, of course, in one of those little special baggies and putting it under the water. A phone that doesn't have an IP rating, I don't know if I would do that.
Right?
Yeah, why take the chance? Like, I understand that even if it gets damaged, by no means is it covered under the warranty just because of the IP rating, but there's just something that makes me more confident having it around water. Even when I saw you in the rain taking the pictures, I was like, oh God. And then you opened up the pop-up selfie cam. I was like, oh God, it's like super wet, dude. What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
But
your boy takes risks for the shot.
I know he does. He yeah, do it for the gram, bro.
That's right.
Puts it down on those rocks. Thing already came back with tons of scratches on the back. Whatever.
It does have a couple little baby scratches on the back, but I'm not going to put a case on a phone that weighs 17 pounds. So totally I left the screen protector on for you, so at least I didn't do anything to the screen.
That thing was jacked. I ripped it off because
it's a piece of crap. Gnarly. It's like a plastic little. It's not like a real screen protector. Yeah, I would. But I did leave it on for you just for that reason.
I do appreciate that.
And also, no one knows this, but I usually do put down a little felt thing when I put it face down on rocks. No one really knows that.
Oh, I didn't.
know, because everyone gets scared. They're like, I
just put it down.
You're putting it face down. Nah, in the last couple of years, because everyone freaked out, like I've been putting this thing, like one of these, one of the really thin, soft ones. I just put that. I just fold it and put it under there. No one knew that.
That's smart.
Suckers.
So tricky. So yeah, an IP rating would be nice. However, what's up with people liking wireless charging all of a sudden? I swear no one cared, and now everyone's like all up on it. I don't get it. Maybe
I think it's because Google finally brought it back or something.
Maybe.
Otherwise, I'm not really sure. In the chat, would you guys rather have wireless charging or an IP rating? Just curious.
I think they're kind of they seem kind of split to me.
It does seem kind of split. Like I mentioned this to you, it was off air, but like I have a Pixel stand right in front of me, and there's a Pixel 3 sitting on it right now. But that's just because I'm not using it. But whenever my any phone runs out of juice, and I have a wireless charger sitting within arm's reach in front of me on this desk, I never put my phone on it because it's slow. Like I always just reach over here to this cable that has fast charging and plug whatever phone in. Like I don't have the time for a wireless. I guess like if you constantly keep your phone on a wireless charger, but I don't know. That's wireless charging is not. It's like I keep trying to make it a thing. I have one by my bed actually, a Pixel stand. I unplugged the cable from it because I just plug my cable into the phone, because if I'm laying in bed and I'm like down to 10% battery, I can't use my phone on the wireless charger. So I don't even use the one that's just sitting. Wireless charging is just not for me, I guess. It's not for me.
Well, yeah, I have one of the fast wireless chargers, and even when it says it's fast wireless charging, I feel like it says it's going to take like an hour or something. I'm like, who's got time for this? And the phone gets all hot. It's like, I'm out of here.
It's still not fast enough, so.
Yeah. Big Don Dono Don, or Big Bomb Dono Don, excuse me, with a $25 donation says, what a great cause. Yes, dogs do rule. IP rating, Kellen. So
Big Bomb Dono Don.
Big Bomb Dono Don coming in big again.
Speaking of donations, we also missed one. Dayton dropped $2 quite a while ago and said, awesome show, keep it up. We didn't miss you, Dayton. Sorry, we've just been rambling about this. Dayton, and then Big Bomb Dono Don. Thank you, sir, Don. We will let all the dogs have all the monies.
Yep. Oh, these are going to be some spoiled pups.
Big Bob Dono Don.
Yeah.
I guess like the IP rating thing for me is it's kind of a big deal, but what I wish OnePlus would do instead is go. So what they did right is they dropped like the phone in a bucket of water and said, instead of paying for an IP rating, we just dropped in a bucket of water. And then right afterwards said, please don't do this at home. What I wish they would do is say, we didn't want to pay for the IP rating, but here's like, maybe they did this. Here's a whole bunch of tests we ran to show you that it's basically rated for this. We just didn't want to pay for it. Rather than like dropping in a bucket and then saying, please don't do this, like prove to us that your phone is basically IP68, and then you just didn't want to pay for it. Like, I think there's a way they can do that to make us feel more comfortable rather than being like, yeah, please don't do that.
Okay, so I'm seeing like a lot of interesting stuff happening in the chat right now. Someone said, Scott Washington says, someone with extra cash donate and say wireless charging, blah, blah, blah. So don't worry. Just because Don donated doesn't mean we value his opinion more than anyone else's. Of course we do, because that's Big Bomb Dono Don. But Brian Ever with the $2 donation says IP ratings are overrated.
Yeah, there you go, Scott.
What was it? Mumble Fluff said, I don't understand argument that wireless charging is slow. Just use it while you sleep. If you're using it while you sleep, why don't you just plug it in? Like, what is the difference? Especially this phone with that Warp Charge 30. Why are we even thinking about wireless charging? We just plug it in, and in 10 minutes you've got almost a full battery.
And you can keep using your phone while you're charging it, unlike a wireless charger.
Yeah, I guess I just don't quite get the argument for the wireless charging.
The only one I get is what people are saying, where like you go to bed and you just slap it on a wireless charger and go to bed.
Sure.
I don't do that. I usually
but
put
is
it on
that
my phone for a few minutes.
Worth a price bump? You know, if the price is going to go up, is that worth it? No. That convenience? No.
Save $30, plug it in.
Yeah.
With the included fast charger they give you or something.
And with that $30 you save, go buy some Bluetooth headphones if you're still upset about a headphone jack missing.
That's right.
So there you go.
But thank you, Brian, for the $2 saying IP rating.
We value your opinion, Brian.
I know, like, I think Brian linked to a video that said, like, here's the phone in the water for 30 minutes. The thing is, like, I don't want a YouTuber to put the phone in a bucket for 30 minutes. I want OnePlus to do the testing and show me. I don't want YouTubers to be like, I swear, like, YouTubers have been doing that since, like, I think the HTC One M7, where they're like, look, I put a phone in a sink with water for an hour, and like the phone is not any sort of IP rating and it somehow survives. Like, don't do that. Don't just listen to YouTubers who put a phone in a bucket of water for like 3 hours. Like, don't trust that. That's not any sort of official. I want OnePlus to do it, is what I'm saying.
I just saw a good one. Oh yeah, Scott says, I don't want to plug it in, Tim. I just want to set it down, never settle. Right, dude? I mean, that's OnePlus's never settle stuff.
Do they still do that? Wait, look, are any of the wallpapers on that one? Do they say the never settle anymore?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I don't think they do. I don't think they included never settles anymore.
All their press images have it.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. All right. I was gonna try to like give them a pass and be like, they don't say that anymore.
No, their official press images show
they totally do still say that. All right, sorry, OnePlus.
None of the actual wallpapers, so the wallpapers they show in those images aren't on the phone. If that makes sense.
Yeah, they're not on the phone, but the press images also never settle. Yeah.
Tavares, YouTube is the truth. Kellen and Tim, it's on Al Gore's internet.
Hey, there's a lot of good stuff on YouTube. I just would not like trust a YouTuber sticking a phone in like a bathtub for an hour. I don't think that's something you should do with your really expensive phone. That's all. It's
not about trust. It's about like, okay, what does that prove actually?
Nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't prove anything. That's like iFixit dumping their phones in like that big old tub of beer. You know, it's not different, and you know, it doesn't actually add any type of value to the device. They already said it was water resistant, people. Like, why are we dumping stuff in water? Like, I just don't understand. If they say it's water resistant, then that's what it is. I guess maybe they're trying to show you how water resistant.
I just think OnePlus, if they want you to believe that it's fine, but they didn't want to pay for an IP rating, they need to like prove that. They need to go through like a whole process and show that whole process is all I'm saying.
I'm with you.
All right, we asked everyone if you were going to buy the phone, and 44% of the people who voted said, yeah, they are buying it. That's a pretty high percentage. It's a pretty high percentage. I swear every time we run a poll, though, the percentages for whatever the new phone is, like I think even with the 3A, when we ran a poll on that, like it had a pretty decent percentage. I don't know, like you guys just buy way too many phones, I think.
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's almost time to run another poll asking how often do people upgrade?
Seriously.
People be buying phones left and right.
Yeah, you guys buy some phones. That's for damn sure. We haven't really mentioned Robert Downey Jr. outside of the intro, but yeah, apparently apparently OnePlus signed up RDJ to promote the OnePlus in probably just in China. I don't think we're gonna see it here, but there's on I think like on his Weibo. I keep saying Weibo. Did we ever settle on that? It's Weibo or Weibo. Either way, he posted an image of himself standing in front of a McLaren, holding the phone, rocking the suit and sneakers look. So yeah, they're paying him now. And everyone's been making the joke. Well, you made the joke that it's the kiss of death from HTC because when Robert Downey Jr. started showing up at HTC ads, it was the end for HTC as we knew it. That was around the One M8 he was back for, and that was the hipster troll car wash, the Robert Downey Jr. hipster troll car wash.
Stupid. Real quick, Mumble Fluff in the chat. He says, Tim, Kellen, where do you keep the chargers if it's so easy for you to plug it in? I'm sorry, I'm going to try. For me, it's super annoying because the cables are under my bed. I need to fish it and find the right cable. So, like, here's what's crazy. So, I have my bed, right? I'm laying down. Right next to my bed, I have my nightstand. The cable from the wall goes up and sits on the table when not in use. So, the cable's just sitting there waiting for me to plug it in. Like I don't have to go fishing. So I guess
if you have an outlet that's not in a good spot, then
sure.
I get it. Or you can just buy one of those really long cables.
I have a cable that I just set on the table. I don't know.
But seriously, to solve your problem, who was it that said that?
Something about long cable?
Mumble Fluff.
Mumble.
Like I've shared this at some point. I think like in our gift guide, our last year's like Christmas gift guide, I shared the cables that I bought because I like the outlets aren't in great spots next to my bed either, but I bought these like Anchor braided cables that are really super nice USB-C that would work perfect with the OnePlus charger, and they're like 6 feet or something. They're super long and nice. Just like you should just buy one of those if that helps anyway. Just a little tip.
Yeah. HDTV isn't coming into my house taking pictures. Like, I don't care if I have cables all over and plugged in. What's the big deal? I'm sorry that I disagree. I feel bad. I wish I could just do everything the right way, that the way other people do it. And
well, it's just funny because you and I have never really been huge wireless charging fans, but there's a clear divide. A lot of people don't care, and then the people that do like wireless charging, they care. It's just like the removable battery crowd. Like, it took a while to kill them off, but I remember when I separated from the removable battery crowd, and I thought my life was gonna come to an end shortly, and now everyone stopped complaining about that. So,
and because this is America, I will defend to the death their right to whatever opinion they have about wireless charging. I may not agree with it, but I'll defend you, buddy. Yeah. I got you.
All right, so we've been talking about OnePlus 7 Pro for almost an hour. Anything else to say about the OnePlus 7 Pro? So Tim has it now. I don't have it anymore. If you guys have questions about it, you're going to have to direct them at him going forward. That phone is way too freaking large for me. I'm still on the Pixel 3a, which is such a downgrade from that phone. Coming from the 7 Pro. Like, it feels like I'm now using a $300 phone.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say that I haven't already said? If you want to check the device out, just head into your local T-Mobile store and check it out. No one's going to hold a gun to your head and force you to buy it. If you like it, definitely check out that 90 hertz. Make sure that 90 hertz is enabled and not the 60. And just check it out. Have some fun. Enjoy life.
I hope that becomes a standard thing.
It's got to.
I don't know if Google... that's another thing is Google, like, when they start doing their hardware early, it's always too early. And we just talked about this, but if they miss the 90 hertz, and, like, let's say the Note 10 has, like, 90 hertz, and someone else, the next phone down, and Google's still with the 60, which they're always behind. I hope that doesn't happen, but 90 hertz, I hope, becomes a standard. It's very cool, although it doesn't seem to be... great on the battery life.
Yeah, and then shout out to IKEA, who makes legit little kind of nightstands with the wireless chargers built in. Love those things. I got one for my girlfriend and her Pixel phone, and it's awesome. So there's just some people who like wireless charging. Some people don't.
Chris dropped a $2 donation, said, love the show, guys. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate the dono. The pups and the kitties. They
Thank you,
appreciate
Chris.
the donos. All right, moving on from OnePlus 7 Pro.
Yes, please.
All right, let's talk Pixel Google stuff for just a minute. Let's see. Where should I start? There's like 3 of them. Oh, first of all, this happened. This all started almost right after we ended our show last week. But a whole bunch of Pixel 3 owners who have continued to complain about their phones being slow and janky and performance being terrible. And we were one of those at one time. I just haven't been using it enough to know if it's still terrible. Everyone realized that maybe turning off digital well-being would fix that. So last week, everyone started turning off Google's digital well-being and thought that their phone immediately became faster. So I haven't done any thorough testing on that, but feel free to turn off usage access and digital well-being in your Pixel 3. I think some people in the Pixel 1 said it worked as well. Pixel 2 owners all seem to think their phone is the fastest thing ever, but yeah, turn off digital well-being and it might speed things up a little bit.
That is so dumb.
It's so silly, right?
I hate that.
It makes a little bit of sense because digital well-being is tracking all of your app usage, and if it needs to constantly do that I could see how that can impact. But Google's got if that really is a thing, I don't know that Google's given any sort of official response to that. They should take care of that. It's one of their big software features.
Oh, Google, the king of jank.
They kind of are right now. Yeah. Pixel 3a. So as you guys all know, it has a headphone jack, and everyone said, "What's up with that, dude? Cheap phone, headphone jack. Why doesn't the fancy Pixel 3 have one?" Well, at Google I/O, one of their product managers held a little interview and said, "Well, it has a headphone jack because a lot of people have headphones already." Like, she admitted the thing she's probably not supposed to admit that we've been complaining about. Like, when everyone took the headphone jack away, we said, "Well, why are you doing that? We all have headphones." And they said, "Well, here, just use this dongle." And the product manager, she just said that, "Yeah, no, you have a lot of headphones, so you should have a headphone jack in your phone," which is fantastic. And then she also kind of hinted at, like, only poor people are buying this phone, which is very weird. She kind of said, like, at this price tier, people really need flexibility. So, like, if you can only afford a $400 phone, you don't have the money to go buy Bluetooth headphones. But that sucks because that's saying, like, people who spend $800 on a phone, they do have, like, money to go buy Bluetooth headphones. It's just kind of it rubbed me a little bit the wrong way there. I don't think that's really fair. Like, maybe I just only want to spend $400, or maybe I don't want to add. Maybe my budget is $800 max, and I am now broke, and I just want to use my normal headphones.
Google, what are you doing?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, she, like, was open and honest, I guess, right? Like, these are, like, in the past, it was like, well, digital audio is better, right? Like, they were like, digital audio and wireless audio is the future. Like, they came up with, like, these really bad excuses. And she said, that basically all of that was just a lie. And we probably could keep this. And I don't really have any reason why we're not. Because you're spending $800, we think you could spend more money. Not good.
Super weird.
All right, so final OnePlus 7 related topic here. You wrote an entire piece about how Google better really step it up with the Pixel 4 because companies like OnePlus just did what they did. The Galaxy S10 was stupidly good this year, and that Google better get it together. And do you want to talk, like, a little bit about what you think they need to do? I mean, we got this, like, request from a reader who was like, "We should talk about this." And so we were like, yeah, that's a good topic on how Google really needs to kind of step it up after a weird, not so great year.
Yeah, absolutely. The point that they made, I thought, was interesting, that so the Pixel 4 will, of course, have competition from the outside. Samsung, LG, not really Samsung, Apple, OnePlus. I don't know why I said LG.
I know, it's just funny.
But then also internally,
Motorola.
People really seem to be taking a liking to these Pixel 3As and 3A XLs. So, are they going to eat in to their potential sales for the Pixel 4? And so what I did is I outlined what I would like to see in the Pixel 4 to at least make it a phone that I would want to buy. What it came down to really was hardware. So what happened was, back in March, I believe, some concept renders hit the web that sort of showed what the Pixel 4 could look like. Just an artist concept, nothing official, no nothing. Right. They basically look like Pixel versions of the Galaxy S10. And I loved that. Yeah, very minimal, very Pixel, which is what was most important to me. Keeping the Pixel kind of uniqueness, and that it's always been, especially with colors. The original one came in that really blue. The second one with that black and white, the penguin, very unique looking devices.
Not boring like this one, but yeah, like penguin, like blue, cool colors, fun colors.
Just give us some good stuff.
Don't
not
go
purplish
and then not pink. Like, just don't do that. Do cool things. Like, make orange up top or something. I don't know.
Do something cool. Of course, I listed out some. So the big ones is that Google has got to realize that 4 gigs of RAM is not nearly enough. So we at least need 6.
This has 4 gig and it costs $400. Yeah,
I know, it was ridiculous. I don't know what Google's always
unreal,
a year behind.
Yes.
And so that was one of the points I made. Google, if they do another notch, or even if they do the display cutout, it may seem as if Google is like a full year behind in terms of hardware design, which they may possibly be because they hired HTC's engineering team. The problem is
apparently we're really behind the 3A. This was apparently like their baby. The first one they actually got all behind. This is the HTC guys.
That's adorable. Yeah. Thank you, HTC. Real quick, Brett Montgomery with the $2 dono for the puppy paws. Thank you very much, Brett.
Thank you, Brett.
Much appreciated. I think it's time that Google brings in that secondary camera. I know this may sound crazy because I praise Google so much for being able to deliver a fantastic camera experience with a single shooter. However, that added versatility of maybe a secondary telephoto lens or something, the argument is getting stronger for those. I mean, and since every other phone now has 3 cameras on the back, it wouldn't kill Google to maybe add a secondary. Given their software, I'm sure it would be a stellar experience.
I think my opinion has changed on that too. Because for so long, like Google, the one shooter, it's the best camera. They're doing all this with one and all this stuff. But after using the Galaxy S10e and S10 and then the OnePlus 7 Pro, and these all have like 17 cameras, I'm kind of with you. Like, just give it to us. Like, I know the one is great, but just give us all the extra ultra wides or a telephoto or whatever, just so that we have. Sure. Just so that we have. Everyone else has it. Just give it to us.
Especially, I mean, the phones that they're charging, pricing as if it's phones that should have what all these other big phones have. So 2 cameras, more than 4 gigs of RAM, something like that. So I listed out some specs, of course, like a 90 hertz OLED display, kind of like what we see on the OnePlus 7 Pro. Of course, the latest Snapdragon processor, 128 gigs of maybe some UFS 3.0 storage, stereo speakers, large battery, IP60 or IP rating, wireless charging. And I also wanted to have a headphone jack because I really want this phone to be not a phone of any type of compromises. I want it to be
not after doing it to this right here.
All right, I know.
How could they not put it in after this phone, this cheap phone? It'll be crazy.
Kind of crazy.
That's good.
I want it to be undeniable. Because a lot of times people can just point to something on, say, the Pixel 2 XL with the obnoxious notch or the subpar amount of RAM, and people are just like, I don't want that. Like, instantly. They won't even give it a chance. Right. So if you just deliver everything that people may want, and then it just becomes sort of like an aesthetic thing, like, I just don't like the look of it or whatever, like, so be it.
Yeah.
But you would really get those Pixel fans fired up, and I think the Pixel 4 could be really good. So that's my hopes for the Pixel 4. I just hope it's crazy. And like, if you got to price it big. You already kind of price it like really expensively. So just price it what it needs to be. It's got all the specs. So be it.
I think it's fairly simple, but we're worried that they're just going to be so late with it. But yeah, do the 90 hertz thing, because I think that's probably going to become sort of standard at this point. I mean, I believe... Is it confirmed that the panel in the OnePlus 7 Pro is a Samsung? Like, is that confirmed? Did they confirm that?
I don't know if it's confirmed.
I keep seeing everyone suggesting that, but I don't know that OnePlus is. Hopefully they have. So if Samsung's doing that, then hopefully that means that that's just going to become like an industry thing for a big flagship phone. So if they go there, obviously, the upgrades in RAM and processor and storage. But then, like you said, they need to do something else to stick out. And maybe that's catching up by adding a second camera. Because the thing is, Google's one camera is so good that if they add a second, maybe they can show what extra good stuff they can do, right? Like, OnePlus 7 has 3 cameras on the back. The main one is really, really good. The other 2 are okay for what they are, the ultra wide and the telephoto. But maybe Google goes, look, here's our version of a telephoto, and watch all this software magic we do in the background. Like, maybe it'll be just insane, right? So like, do that. So give us a better display. Do this like a secondary camera on the back. And then, like you said, be unique and do some interesting colors. Like, don't do purplish and slightly pink and whatever. Like, and like the pricing stuff, like, I don't know that I care. Like, they say they want to be priced up there because they think their stuff's worth it. But like, do some stuff to like make yourself on that level and then also interesting. And I think they could do that as they once did with some colors and stuff. So just stop being boring, Google. Like, the Pixel 3 is kind of a boring phone, as are these 3A phones. They're kind of boring. I'd rather Google be a little more fun. Like, just do something weird, Google, or something.
That's some fun.
Yeah,
I like that. Wade County says the Pixels are the Volvos of smartphones. Dude, I'm kind of with you on that.
Right now, kind of feeling that.
Yeah.
Somebody else mentioned in the chat, like, just release a phone. This is actually probably what they really need to do. Release a phone without a bunch of software jank out of the box. And then the other one I would add to that, and somebody's probably mentioned this, is build good phones. Like, how many Google phones have released, and in like the first 2 weeks, once everyone gets them, it's like, there's a clicking in the earpiece, this microphone's broken, this thing doesn't work right, this button's wrong. Like, there's like all these things, right? Like, where the quality control is typically not great. So make sure the software isn't janky, buggy crap. And I don't know you ever get around that because Google's usually pushing the earliest versions of software first, right? I mean, I should say they're always pushing the earliest versions of software first. But then, like, you got to tighten up the manufacturing process a little bit here. So,
yeah, Travis Chapin says the problem is Google doesn't care about if they sell phones or not.
They do too.
I feel like they do.
They do.
I feel like they care. Or else why do it? You know, why put your heart into something if you don't care? Plus, they hired Rick Osterloh to run the whole thing. I mean, you think that guy's free?
Yeah, I would tend to agree, Travis, just because during their last earnings call, they pointed out that they were disappointed in the sales, and they released the 3A probably in part to boost sales phone numbers and things like I think they actually do. Because they've said, as you mentioned, Rick Osterloh said, like, we want to be a top phone maker. So they do actually. I know you're saying like all their other divisions print money, but their hardware division makes money now, and it's used mostly from like Google Home products, I believe. But they want the phone part of it to make a lot of money. Rick dropped $5. Says, "Hey guys, keep making it rain. Truth's up in here. Great show. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate the $5.
Just making it rain, truth.
Sometimes unpopular truths, or just unpopular opinions." All right, that's pretty much it for Google stuff. You want to talk 5G just for a second, and then we bust into trivia?
I love 5G.
Trivia. In 5G news, Verizon released the Galaxy S10 5G this week. It's still $1,300. It still works in like 2 blocks of Minneapolis and Chicago on 5G, so do not buy it unless you live like next door to a tower there. But Verizon's 5G now does gigabit download speeds because they've kind of just cranked up the towers they have in a couple of those cities. Again, do not buy it. They'll be in 30 cities by the end of the year, but it's probably going to be spotty, just like it is in Minneapolis and Chicago. Sprint announced that they are taking pre-orders for the HTC 5G hub thing and also the LG V50 5G. Keep in mind that Sprint doesn't actually have a 5G network. So I don't know how. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around how they can sell 5G phones and hubs. That HTC hub thing's probably kind of cool, but if it doesn't connect to 5G, I don't know why you would buy that.
VR stream box.
Yeah, the VR stream, which I really don't understand the marketing idea behind that. I get it if it's like actual 5G and you have 5G connection in your house pushing crazy speeds. Like, that would be fun. And they talk about gaming through it and all this stuff. But again, there's no 5G. They're all limited like to Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, and Kansas City, which are going to be the first 5G markets for Sprint, but we don't know when. They haven't said, right, when they're going to kick that off. Michael dropped $1. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate
Thank you, Michael. That. Props, man.
Do you want to do trivia, or should we do the last question? It's already like an hour and 10 minutes here into the show.
We could just get to trivia, I guess. I mean, it's a pretty fun question, but
It's kind of a fun question.
It's no big
Should we
deal.
do it quickly? Let's do it quickly. All right. Yesterday, I think it was, Tim posed a question on the site that said, if you could bring back one old phone or update one old phone with current modern specs, what would it be?
Ooh, this is tough.
Yeah. What did you go with?
Well, looking back on it, I think I said the HTC One from like way back in the day, or the One X or whatever the heck it was called, the white one, the Beats by
with the
Dre.
good plastic that we talked about last show.
Yeah, but I gotta go with I think the Moto X just because, and I'm not. I think the second gen one, the one that had the leather, the Horween leather on the backside. I gotta go with that one. So hot.
Yeah, you took a picture, or you posted a picture of that one with the leather.
That was the pure edition. I'm talking about the one I think that was before the pure edition.
Yeah, that had the ring camera.
The ring camera.
The ring flash or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be hot.
Yeah, I think I went with the original Moto X just because size-wise, I mean, now I probably think that phone's too small, but yeah, like you said, just put in modern stuff in there and put an actual camera that wasn't like a potato, and those phones, and I would probably agree with you that like if you put that second gen, because the second gen Moto X was just a slightly bigger version of that little mini one, and because you could customize like the colors in the back, like bring those back with the customization where you could choose wood or leather or bamboo or just any sort of color. Like I think I made the original Moto X. I think I made like 4 different versions of. Like I had a yellow one, I had a green one, I had a bamboo one. I think like. What a cool phone. So
those phones were so hot.
They really were.
How did we get away from that? Man.
Well, because it failed. because it failed, no one bought it, and
we made it phone of the year like 2 times in a row just to try and get people to buy it.
We were such fans of that the worst cameras ever, and we were such fans.
Bad.
Yeah. Anyway, what did I see in the chat? Saw some Nexus 5, some Moto X's. Somebody brought a Thunderbolt. You should be banned for saying that.
Yeah, and get it out. Thunderbolt.
Some old Nexuses. Cellwalk with the Nexus 6. You are crazy. That Shamu is such a tank.
God, that's a big phone.
It's funny, like that was a 6-inch phone display, and it's Shamu, and it was a whale and huge. I haven't looked at the measurements to see how that stacks up to like the OnePlus 7 Pro. Because like the Shamu was so big and it was impossible to use. But I wonder if like that 7 Pro basically measures the same.
It might. Man, I have to look up some specs real quick.
While you're looking that up, Dan dropped $20. Didn't say anything, but just quietly dropped the 20. Thank you, Dan, for the $20.
That's an alpha move. Thank you, Dan.
It is.
Had a 6-inch display.
Yeah,
Quad
it's 6
HD,
inch, but like the
6-inch.
measurements on the body, I'm just curious if it was like similar to what that phone is. Droid Charge. You can never bring up the Droid Charge in any sort of serious way.
That thing was
the Droid Charge. A lot of people saying the Nexus 6P. I just feel like the 6P is not old enough. I guess it is like 4 years old. For some reason, it doesn't feel like it's old enough to bring back, but I guess we could. It was a big phone. Nice phone, but big.
So I'm looking here now at the dimensions. Thank you, Dan. So for the Shamu was 159.3 by 83 by 10.1 millimeters. Dimensions for OnePlus 7 Pro 162.6 by 75.9, smaller by 8.8 millimeters. So thinner, shorter.
The 7 Pro is shorter.
No. Longer. And then what's the not as wide.
Not as wide. So the 7 Pro is taller, but not as wide.
So it's more candy bar than.
So they're still huge, and it's taller, but not quite as wide. So it's easier to hold, probably. Then, yeah. Shamu.
Poor Tech Matter still has one in his drawer because no one ever bought it. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Least. We should probably do a poll like next week. It says like, what was your least favorite Google phone ever?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Galaxy Nexus was also up there for me. Man, I loved that phone back in the day.
Yeah, modern Galaxy
camera
Nexus.
Was so trash.
Yeah, but it was fast. Remember, that was one of those things they showed at the time. They're like, look how fast it is. They were just tapping the button. It was just snap. But yeah, the camera was bad. It was the first 720p. but it was plasticky, and the battery life on the LTE version lasted about an hour and a half.
Well, you had to buy those expandable batteries with the different backsides and all that. It filled it out and stuff. That was crazy. It actually felt better though with the bigger battery, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I see a least favorite was the Pixel 3 XL. That's tough. Ooh. I think people are a little down on the Pixel 3 and 3 XL this year. I think just because of some of the early issues, but we'll have to think. Yeah, we'll have to run that poll. We'll have to try to set some sort of reminder. Doing that right now. All right, you ready for the moment?
I think we're ready.
Oh yeah, the lights are on. All right, it's trivia time. If you've been waiting for this moment, it's a good time to show up. And if you've just been with us, we appreciate it. But it's trivia time, DL Show trivia time. End of every show, we do DL trivia, 5 questions, and we reward 5 winners with prizes. So we put a question up on the screen. Tim also reads it. And if you are the first to answer in the YouTube chat where we're doing this live, you win. That's it. You just have to be typey fast, as fast as you can possibly be. And Tim and I just go with whatever's on our screen. If we see the first person, our screen matches up. It's the most live of feeds. We tell you if you're the winner. So are we ready for trivia? A lot of 12s in the chat. If you're new around here, that's kind of a long running joke. One day we will make 12 an answer. Could be today.
It's not today.
Oh, it's not. It's not today.
I don't think so. I can tell you right now, it ain't today.
I was going to give them some hope only to spoil it and have us never give 12, but no.
Well, then everyone's just going to keep typing 12 and it might throw them off.
Yeah, but see, then the savvy trivia player goes, I got this because you guys are all busy typing 12 and I'm going to win.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah. Tough.
So because we have kind of different prizes for people today and sort of like a grand prize, if you want to put it that way. So the last question number 5 will be that big one, the Google Home Mini plus the GeForce Now Beta Key.
Okay.
4th question will be the $50 Google Play gift card, Google or GeForce Now Beta Key. 3rd question is going to be the $25 gift card. So we're going to work our way up. First 2 questions will only be for GeForce Now Beta Keys.
Okay.
Every winner, all 5, get GeForce Now Beta Keys. So we're gonna work our way up. Don't try and not answer these first ones because you never know. Maybe you won't get lucky on those later questions. No, you just gotta play to win them all. That's what I say. So if you know the answer, throw it in there. Anyway, I'm about to pass out. I'm out of breath.
Tavares just dropped a FAQ Wars in the chat.
Holy moly!
I haven't heard that in a while. That should be a trivia question. And it was blocked initially by YouTube. YouTube thought "fact wars" was a bad word. Yeah.
Gosh. Fact war, dude. That was so.
Let's go back to that. Anyways,
that's so classic.
Trivia is here. Is everyone ready? We've given you plenty of time to refresh, drop that resolution down, whatever you need to do to improve that connection.
All right, let's get to it. Question number 1, please.
Question number 1 is up now.
While the OnePlus 7 Pro is capable of a 90 hertz refresh rate, what's the typical refresh rate found on most Android phones? Ooh. I'm seeing Scott McDonald with the correct answer of 60.
60.
And I'm telling you, Eli, you were like right behind him by a split second. Corey was in there, Brandon was in there, but Scott McDonald, fastest on our screen. Congratulations. Yep. You are the winner of a GeForce Now Beta Key. Highly coveted.
Like Scott and Eli always have that really good like connection to the show. They're usually pretty up top there. But yeah, Scott was just in there. I don't know how you guys do it so quickly. I know you don't want to share the secrets, but
don't share the secrets.
and Corey up there and Brand. Yeah, it's like all the guys that seem to have the fastest. I don't know how you guys do it so fast. Scott McDonald with the win.
Yeah, Scott McDonald, you're asking if you could sell the Beta Key? No, just if you don't want it, you can just give it to a friend. It's something you can just give to somebody else. Don't sell the Beta Key, please.
144p fiber and laptop. That could do it.
I guess that could do it.
That could do it.
All right, question number 2, please.
Question number 2 is up now.
In 2013, what flagship phone was HTC selling when it hired Robert Downey Jr. to star in a series of ad campaigns? Again, in 2013, what flagship phone was HTC selling when it hired Robert Downey Jr., I'm looking to star in a series of ad campaigns. I'm looking for... Oh, hold on.
I think Evan Brown wins that.
Okay, I gotta confirm. Evan Brown.
That is the phone, right?
Yeah, because...
The original one, which they renamed to One M7.
Yep, Evan Brown.
So it's the original HTC One, which was later named One M7, and Evan Brown said M7.
Evan Brown, congratulations. We would have also accepted HTC One spelled out or in numerical form or whatever, but yep, one M or just M7 is A-OK. So congratulations.
Saw some 1Xs in there, but he was just after that. Like they started the free fall with the 1X, continued that free fall right through RDJ. Like we were looking back at some of the posts we had written when he signed on, and every single one I think I started with, this won't save HTC. Like that's how badly they were doing by the time he even joined on.
Yeah, that hurts.
All right, Evan, you got the win there.
Congratulations. All right, let's go with question number 3, please.
Question number 3 is up now.
What year was Samsung founded?
Oh.
I will tell you, this was back in the day a piece. What year was Samsung founded?
Somebody has to Google that probably.
Probably. I don't know. If you keep this in your memory banks, that's impressive. Oh, God, I'm going to be scrolling for a while. I need to not do answers like this because YouTube TV gets very confused about all this quick spam with 4 digits.
Yeah, by the way, if your answer's not showing, we can see them all. Like if it thinks I think it might be Eric Ortiz. Oh my God, there's so many.
Yeah, congratulations to everyone who didn't win. You have officially
there's so many
screwed
answers. All right, the answer is...
I'm seeing Eric Ortiz with the correct answer of 1938. Eric Ortiz.
Just double checking real quick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go as slow as I can. Eric Ortiz has the first 1938. I think some other people got it in there after him, but his was the first.
Yep. Yeah, I'm seeing Scott McDonald, of course, DJ Ray,
Wade County, Russell down there, but Eric Ortiz
Mitchell.
is first. Whew, yeah, that's a tough one because like everyone looks it up after everyone spams their first guess. Wade, you did have 1938, but it was after Eric did.
Daniel wanted me to double check. Daniel, I'm double checking for you, buddy. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Eric Ortiz. All right. Congratulations, Eric Ortiz. So that was question number 3. So Eric, you win a special prize. Eric wins a $25 Google Play gift card as well as a GeForce Now beta key. Congratulations. Next question is worth $50 in Google Play credit plus the GeForce Now beta key.
I'm just showing a lot of these answers just to make it cleaner. But anyway, all right.
That's a lot of quiche.
Yeah,
that's a substantial amount of apps and games.
This is the 50.
This is the $50. Okay, here we go. Question number 4, please.
Question number 4 is up now.
What processor powers both the Pixel 3a and Pixel 3a XL? Easy question. What processor? I'm seeing the correct answer of... Connor Mills?
Connor Mills.
Connor Mills with the correct answer of Snapdragon 670.
670. It was such a weird lead up to those phones being released because the early rumor I think was 670, and then this secondary rumor popped up that said it's the 710, and we've never seen a 710.
Connor, 50. You're $50 richer.
$50 Google Play credit, and you get a GFN beta key, a GeForce Now beta key.
Yeah, GeForce Now is kind of a mouthful. GFN, that's a bit better. Okay, congratulations, Connor. So now we've got a question number 5, which is worth a Google Home Mini and a GFN beta key. So let's
Google Home Mini.
Go with
yeah,
Google Home Mini, dude. Question number 5, please.
Question number 5 is up now.
Nvidia related, given they are our lovely sponsors for these prizes. What version of Android did the original Nvidia Shield Portable launch with?
This one's gonna.
It could be the Android version or the name, the dessert name of it. But what version did the original Shield portable launch with?
I think I saw.
Geesh.
Right.
Okay, there we go.
Is it Damien? Does Damien have the first one?
Jackson, there's a special layer in hell for people who just do A, B, C, D, and then keep spamming it. I swear to God.
All right, you are accepting Jelly Bean, right?
I am accepting Jelly Bean, and I am accepting Android 4.2.
I think Damien is in with the Jelly Bean first.
Oh, Damien, if he's right, congratulations.
Either Jelly Bean or 4.2 is what we're looking for, and I got Damien with Jelly Bean.
Damien Holguin with the correct answer of Jelly Bean.
Correct. Yeah, these random number ones are tough.
Those are tough because that's a toughie.
Damien Holguin with the Google Home Mini and the GeForce Now Beta Key.
You guys are smart.
Very smart.
Nice. Congratulations. So our 5 winners, Scott McDonald, Evan Brown, Eric Ortiz, Connor Mills, and Damien Holguin. Please email me. Myself and Nvidia will be handing out your prizes.
Tim's email is in the chat. Please email him. I mean, I think it's in the chat. It's going to the chat.
Now it is.
There it is. Email Tim. Once again, thank you to Nvidia for the series of prizes there. I don't think we've done like bundles that get increasingly better. I like it though.
Good job, winners, and good job, and thank you, to everyone who donated. Thank you to everyone who played. It's really the highlight of our week. So
it really is. Running through donations again. PC 747, Bert, Leo, Dayton, Big Bomb Dono Don.
He's back.
Brian, Chris, Brett, Consumer Life, Rick, Michael, and Dan. All with donations this week. Really appreciate those. Again, one reminder, we're giving away all donations for the next 2 months to the Oregon Humane Society. So if you do want to donate, like Brady just did, dropped $1. Thank you, Brady. All donations at the end of June. We're going to compile them all and send them on over. It will be fabulous, and we'll tell you guys how much the total is once we get there. So anything else? I don't really want to talk depressing Trailblazers stuff because when you piss away wins like that on the road, not great.
We don't have to talk about the Blazers. Everyone go see Detective Pikachu or John Wick 3. Enjoy yourselves.
There's a whole bunch of movies out that I want to see that I still have not seen. So
yeah. Have you seen Endgame yet?
No.
Oh my gosh.
God,
Trevor
no.
McGrath with the $5.19 donation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Trevor. Says animals.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Trevor.
Fantastic. Winners, if you haven't, email me. Got places to be.
Email Tim. The only thing I've kept up with is Game of Thrones. That's it. That's all I've kept.
That and the
NBA is like all I've had time for.
I can't believe it. I mean, this Sunday.
It is the end.
It's over.
It is the end. No spoilers, by the way, in case you're worried. Yeah, it's the end. I don't know how they got to fit a lot into the final. They got to fit a lot. There's a whole bunch of stories they got to like tie up. I don't know how they're gonna have time to do that because it's not like a 3-hour episode. So they should have made it like a 3-hour episode. Should have just made it a movie.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of will be. I think it's probably like an hour and 20 minutes, but jeez.
I'm with Brandon Fisher. He says season 8 is trash. I'm kind of with that, but
yeah, it's been trash except the last week's episode I thought was fine. I thought they did a good job last week.
Yeah, could have been better. Anyway,
all right. Anything else? Have a safe weekend, everyone.
Have a safe weekend.
Pixel 3a review probably next week. And I don't know what's coming after that. We're just kind of now.
That's all we can talk about.
Yeah, that probably is all we can talk about. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. Please have a fabulous and safe weekend. Be good out there. Go Blazers.
Bye.